been a struggle.
Mm.
It's been a struggle. Help doesn't seem to come my way from anyone. So
Mm. Mary, you know, I've been
it is
battling. I've been battling to get you for 3 years, and I didn't know that you. Well, I know you've been avoiding me for, and I understand. I understand what's happening. Sorry.
I think you said that I died.
Uh,
You wrote somewhere, Kuti, I died. Ebonga kopi.
uh, please, we wasn't writing that article. I apologize because I know a lot of journalists have been writing a lot of things. Yeah, I think people have been, because I think people just can't get to you unless maybe they see you court or they see you elsewhere, where in public places. So I really do apologize, yeah, for such, if it was published, yeah, by my journalists that are close to me.
In the last couple of years, the only places that I've been to, it's either the hospital or the court. Because I'm still going to court.
6 years.
6 years. I'm inoitika zvokurongerwa zvinhu zvausina kuita. It's not right. It's not right. Mwari variko, he is working with me. And I think one day, pachaita munhu chete achataura chokwadi, achataura kuti chinhu chichakarongwa nani. Because definitely someone planned this. Pane munhu akatoplanta akastada Constantino akaona kuti no, this guy tinokwanisa kumuita manipulate tigochinja zvinhu zvese. Saka
Well, this is an operation, and I also wanted to give you another scenario, which seems similar to the intelligence documents that I have. It is that of Lenmo Jongwe. Right. Lenmo Jongwe akanyeperwa kunzi mukadzi wako, your wife is in an affair. And after that, he, according to what I have, didn't kill his wife. There was just an incident, but ivo vakazoenda vakabva vanopedza mukadzi. So by the time that happened, all that evidence then seemed to accuse who? The MDC. And by the time that he could now testify all this in court, he's another leader of a political party that came out of ZANU-PF. It was led by ZANU-PF former ZANU-PF members, who included Morgan Changirai, who was at one time a commissar in ZANU-PF. So the modus operandi here to target leaders, predominantly those who could take over power. And you could ask me, how would you be a ZANU-PF leader? You were the first lady, practically. After the coup, yourself and your husband were the leaders of this country. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I never looked at it that way.
Oh, yeah, you are actually the first lady. And so the same way that Grace Mugabe was shoved off by separating her and her husband, remember, before the coup in 2017, the idea was to make Robert Mugabe distrust Grace. And then Robert Mugabe would accuse Grace of certain things, they would distrust her, and then rather choose to trust Emerson. And then so once they separate the husband from the wife, the rest is history. So the same way that they shoved off Robert Mugabe is the same way that they're going to shove off the next leader of the country, who is Constantino Chiwenga, because from November 15, 2017, the leader of the country, the president of the country, virtual president, is Constantino Chiwenga. So how are they going to deal with Chiwenga? They've got to use exactly the same modus operandi that they've been executing these past decades. And it's exactly the same thing. They have to take over power at all costs, including if it means killing certain people, even whoever it is, at all costs. And that's why the first person to be bombed, physically bombed, in the history of this country, exactly, by the way, we're in March, exactly 50 years ago, is Herbert Chitepo. The next person to be bombed in this country on live camera while people are watching is you, Mary. It's you. That bomb exploded on your legs, didn't it? It didn't. It was you. Right on your legs. And it killed one of your bodyguards, correct? What was his name?
I can't remember his name.
So that bomb was for you.
He died.
Yeah, that bomb was for you and your husband. Munofanira kukupedzai because imimi ndimi ma-leaders enyika ino. So we've got to use exactly the same modus that we used on Herbert Chitepo in 75. Exactly this time in March 75.
Munhu akatondiseva from that bomb, akandibata akandidonhedzera pasi, takadonha pasi tese, is Vice President Kembo Mohadi. Ndivo vakatondiseva, otherwise I'd probably be dead by now. And I remember pandakazomuka nekusimuka ipo mu-VIP tent, the presidential tent. I mean, there were just people there, and I was looking around looking for my husband, but he was nowhere to be found. He was not there. I was there. So the question is, did he leave me there to die, or something else was happening? Because he left me there. And when I got up, I started walking around looking for him, because I thought maybe something has happened to him. I was looking for him. I didn't see him. Ndakatozomuona akudzoka Constantino. Ndakamona akudzoka, and he told me to come down the stairs on the other side, not side rakakandwa grenade randanga ndiri, but on the opposite side. Ndichibva ndaburuka, and I said to him, but where were you? Amewo zvako zvaikungotaurawo. Ndobva tabvapo tichienda kuhospital. So Bulawayo, I think the Bulawayo bombing it's something that was planned by someone, because the assumption at that time was that the grenades came from the VIP tent. They said that it was thrown from the VIP tent, because Hans grenade parino Israel, whatever it has, and rinotoita noise. So obviously, ipapo pakatoitika noise, and whether people knew what it was or what was happening or who was doing what, I don't know, because inini negrenade iro takasvikirana pastep.
So while you're walking, and then the grenade is also literally you're walking towards the stage, right? Sorry, the
I'm
steps,
walking
and
the
then
steps, and then the grenade is coming to me, but I don't see it because I'm concentrating on where I'm going. So I didn't see it. Saka rakauya rikaskopinda pasi pestep, inini ndichibva ndatsika step iroro richibva raputika.
is it?
Yeah,
So it didn't explode in the air. It's
yeah.
when you stepped onto it.
I stepped onto the step. It was under the step randakatsika.
And then Kembo Mahadi saved you.
He saved me. He saved me. He pulled me and pushed me down. And when I got up, I was looking for my husband. Constantino was nowhere to be found.
And what I'm getting here is, as I said before, the bombing for the first time, unlike in 1975, when Herbert Chitepo was killed, you were bombed in front of cameras, so people can actually audit the video and see it. And it seems to be true, from my recollection, that it's true that it was you who was the first primary target of that bomb. No, it would.
But why?
Yeah, but sorry, what?
Why would anyone want to kill me?
Well, you're a leader. You're a leader of ZANU-PF. You're a leader of ZANU-PF. Yourself and your husband are leaders of ZANU-PF, and the script here, the Rhodesian script, targets you. It targets you. And so what it says is that you have to be monitored and you have to be pushed out of the way at all costs. And so Herbert Chitepo, this was done to him. Ndabaningi Stoli, this was done to him. Of course, it wasn't a bomb, but he was definitely shoved off. Soon after, according to some other records that are being alleged by, I think you must have seen this being written by Jonathan Chando, that when that happened, Mugabe had flown into Zambia, into Lusaka, and had presented himself as the new leader of ZANU-PF, elected in a congress inside prison. And all of a sudden, Robert Mugabe left after Herbert Chitepo had refused, left and went and slept at Mafidi Mnangagwa's father's house in Lusaka. And then in a very short while, Herbert Chitepo was bombed. Now, what I'm saying is the bombing, we might not have footage of how it happened back then in 1975, but we've got footage of you being bombed. And we also have got footage of Mnangagwa towering over you. That seems too similar to the one that they were towering over Josiah Tongogara in 79. And then now you've got my video now with Auxilia Mnangagwa, where Auxilia is scared while she's talking to me. She could have switched. I mean, you can switch off the phone, Handrads, if you don't want to talk to me right now. Feel free, by the way, if you feel uncomfortable. But she couldn't switch off her phone. You've been avoiding me for 3 years. She couldn't avoid me for 3 years. You have been deliberately doing that, whatever reason, but she couldn't. She was so scared of me that she repeated, "Don't curse me," over 27 times, if my counting is right, in 35 minutes. So that is nearly 2 times every minute. She's repeating, "Don't curse me." So, and the communication there is very clear to me. I've studied communication, is my area. I mean, I know, Mary, that she called you. I mean, I didn't know. Now I know that she actually called you. Now I've got evidence that she actually called you. And it's very clear, when she called you, and I'm not wrong, Mary, when she called you, she was trying to make you accuse Constantino. Am I wrong?
I can't say.
Mary, talk to me. Tell me the truth. You know what
I
she said to
can't.
you? I've related to you here what she has told me. What she has communicated to me, not just told me, but communicated to me, is that she is holding
Which is what?
arikuchengeta mosha. She arikuchengeta mosha to use it. And if you listen to Christopher Mchanga, to use it to stop your husband from taking over the country. The same way that they have been doing on ZANU-PF leaders since 1975. It's a script. These are not just isolated incidents at all. This is a predetermined course of action to ensure that credible ZANU-PF leaders are stopped. The real ZANU-PF leaders are stopped. And the only person who does is someone who's got endorsement from the Rhodesia Special Branch. And that person was not even a leader of ZANU-PF. So I've given you so many incidents here. I've not only told you what I've investigated with her, with the First Lady, right, and himself, Emerson. I've also shown you what is in document form, what is in all these records since 1975. Yeah. And if you check the picture of these men standing, towering over Josiah Tongogara's body, if you look at the circumstances of the bombing of Herbert Chitepo, and then look at the circumstances of the bombing of you and your husband, but we know it was you first. The agenda there is the same operandi to ensure that you, as the First Lady of the country, the virtual First Lady of the country, are shoved off. The same way that Grace Mugabe and her husband were violently shoved off as well. Although in a slightly different scenario. I hope it's making sense.
Well, Simba, I'm not a politician, right?
So you were never in politics, you were never in ZANU-PF?
No, never.
And are you telling me that is possibly why Christopher Mchanga, because you told me earlier on that Christopher Mchanga has never called you. That doesn't seem to make sense, by the way, also. Because he did mention you, he seemed to be concerned about you. In that call record, he claims that, look, Constantino cannot be president because he has decapitated his wife. He suggests that
number one, he's right to say Constantino has decapitated me because he has. Number two, I've never spoken to Chris Mutsvangwa, never before. I've not spoken to him.
So you don't believe that he's concerned? You don't believe that that's a statement of concern? You think that was something else? You seem to suggest that.
For me.
Yes. Because he seems...
Me, after all these years, after all the problems, the health problems that I've gone through, he's concerned about me now. No. There's no way he's concerned about me. No way. No way. No way. Unoziva Simba semunhu wemukadzi handichika. Even ndiri mudiki kune madzimai ari muZANU-PF. The least they could have done was to help me get treatment outside. Get my passport back so I can travel outside. But I was denied that. The doctors said to my husband, Constantino, if you give her her passport, my chances ekuseva ruoko rwake aripo. And he said no. After Chagara, they said to him, kune problem negumbo. Tiri kuda passport kuti aende anowana medication abroad. Nekuti if we don't do that, tichamubvisa gumbo rake. And he still said no. He denied me my passport to go and get medical treatment.
What about, can I just interrupt, please? What about what Chris Mutsvangwa says is that the President Mnangagwa requested that you be pardoned. Is that true that he requested that you should be pardoned to Constantino?
I've never heard of it. I'm hearing it from you for the first time. I've never heard of it.
Well, when I spoke to Auxilia also, and Mnangagwa, by the way, he also got that record, that communication. It was very clear to me that they were not, both of them were not interested in getting you pardoned, because they could have easily done that, done presidential pardon on you, or at least get you treated. The case could have continued. The prosecution could have continued. You could have flown to South Africa with guards, right there, with police, or that you could even finance yourself, correct? But that wasn't done.
No. Even up until now, I still don't.
So there's
have
not,
a passport.
after 6 years, there's nothing.
There's no passport. Constantino doesn't go to the courts. I go to the courts alone. The magistrate or the judge says we are postponing this case to whatever date. And we go back to court. Constantino is nowhere to be found. I understand he has changed lawyers, so I'm not sure what's happening there. I'm not sure what's happening there, because in Constantino, because I have not seen or spoken to them in 6 years.
Okay.
Now,
so now tell me,
somebody.
And I'll ask you quickly about that. Your children, has a ZANU-PF member, any ZANU-PF member, ever called for your children to be allowed to see their mother?
No, absolutely not. Not even one. Not even one. Not even the First Lady herself. She has not done that. And I would expect Kuti, as the mother of the nation, she would knock some sense into Constantino to say, Bamnin, imboita ikuti vana vaende vanoona mai vavo. Has not happened. It's a family matter. It's a family matter. It's a family matter. My family matters are vanoda kugadzirisa, vanogadzirisa. Avasingadi kugadzirisa, avagadzirisi.
And then now she calls you, and that is why I'm asking you over that phone call, because I just knew it. I knew that she's been communicating with you. By the way, you know that I'm an investigator, Mary, and I knew that she's been communicating with you so that you can accuse your husband. And now, you get that phone call, and that's what she's telling you now, that you need to help her and her husband to accuse your own husband.
To accuse him of what?
Of neglecting you, of causing this, of decapitating you.
Well, if that is a crime, yes, he has committed a huge crime. It is a crime. And if it's not, then he hasn't done anything. He's just left me to die. I think he was hoping that I should have died many, many years ago, but I'm still alive because God is up there. Anzi, iwe paunenge uchifamba masteps ako uchikwira ladha rako rehutsinye, Mwari vanenge vachidzika vachitora avo wauri kuda kuti urwidzise achiva protector. Nekuti I don't know, it's thanks be to God. Pamwe dai ndakafa kudhara Simba. Dai ndakafa kudhara. But I'm still alive because of God. Ndikati pane munhu akambotibatsira wekuZANU-PF kuti ndiwane medical attention ndingange ndichinyepa. Hapatombona kana one. First lady ndakavakumbira rubatsiro. Vakanditi mainini munoziva zvinonetsa nekuti tiri kushanda nabamini nemukadzi wavo muchawavana nawo, saka zvinonetsa kuti tiite izvozvo, saka mototsva rubatsiro elsewhere.
And that was when?
That was in January when she called me. Right. Yeah. That's what she told me. Basically, she was telling me that she couldn't help me. And kubatsira andifunge kuti kune chekuita na Constantino nemunhu wake wainaye usho. Kubatsira somebody comes from the heart. It also comes from her being first lady. Means she is the mother of the nation. Now, her as my mother, she is supposed to feed me as her child, or she is supposed to have me nursed by whoever. Vashindi Basira with the medical bills, even outside the country. But she said no. She said no. So ndakangozvitambira kuti ndizvozvo, but you know, nguva yavanga vachiri kudefense maiguru navamukuru, kundibatsira kwavaiita taibatsirana zvekuti when I
that's what she said
her,
to me. She said to me she once sent you anzi ndakambokuti enda kuWarren Park menokuti that incident happened. Says when I was greeting her, she said to me, when I was greeting her in May 2022, she said to me, ndakatombovaudza kuti ndaitombavaudza kuti endai kuWarren Park monondimirira or something like that.
I can't remember that incident. I can't remember. But ini simba robatsiro rwandaitsvaga was about my health. Unoona zvakaita ruoko rwangu. Ndo zvarakatoitwa ipapo, vakabvisa skin yanga iripo nekuti vaiti yakange yaipa, saka vakaibvisa. Vaida kutoridambura futi ruoko iroro, vakati chirega tingorisiya tiri safe. Saka ndakasara ne1 ruoko ne1 gumbo. But imagine if Constantino Chiwenga ari kuda kuita president yenyika, kana achiitira mukadzi akamitira vana 3 vaasingade navo, vaasingagone navo. Imagine kuti kana president anenge aine utsinye hwakaita sei.
Well, you know, as someone who has been following these events, Mary, I don't know, I can't answer you. I can't answer you, but I can only ask you questions because I don't want to be telling you, instructing you what you should think. But as I said before, I do have these documents, and this is an operation that has been there. It's been run since 1974, 1975, since the bombing of of Herbert Chitepo. I can't say that it's the same operation, but I'm just saying that they're too similar. These incidents are just too similar. Herbert Chitepo, Josiah Tungogara, Lenmo Jongwe, right, spousal as well, Ndabaningi Stole, right, that was a way to crush him. I've got the documents and that are clear, and there are instructions to Emerson Mnangagwa to ensure that Ndabaningi is monitored and stopped from bouncing back into ZANU-PF, from like literally being instructed by the Rhodesia Special Branch, and so and then now comes my interview with Auxilia, where my conversation with her, the First Lady, where she was jittery for over 35 minutes, and she could have switched off her phone, but she seemed too frigid throughout the 35 minutes that I spoke with her. In a way, to me, and so many other things, and things that were communicated to me, and you can read if you listen very well. There's a statement that I then said to her towards the end. Even though I'd wanted to ask her, remember there was the issue of my armed robbers, where she said to me she denied that she went with her husband to install an armed robber as the chief of Negomo, and also to install him as the head of the State House properties, the office of the President's cabinet. But when I got to the end, that whole conversation was about you, Mary. I then asked her towards the end, I said, look, you seem not to be concerned about Mary, but do you realize that what has happened to Mary, you could be the next Mary Chiwenga, because power does not belong to anyone. And there's no one who controls this whole world, who owns this world.
Yes.
Yeah, even Putin, even Biden. I think I even mentioned those are the two names, if you listen to it. And so my point that I'm trying to make here is that I have very clear evidence of communication that's been made to you, and now you've confirmed to me that she actually did call you, and there are statements there that are being made, so that you dislike your husband and you blame your husband, and you never see what they have done on you. And to me, this is just too clear. And when I was there, I stayed at the same flat with Lenmo Jongwe in the year 2000. Right? Sorry, 99 up to 2000. Yeah, Shingai Court. And when that incident happened, the automatic blame that people could have made on Lenmo, that he actually did kill his wife, Rutendo, I think that was her name. And then later on, it turns out that it was a whole Rhodesia style special branch operation where a man is set up on my events that make you to accuse your wife, and then your wife accuses you, and things go, and then they'll come and then they'll finish you, the wife, both the wife and the husband, and then later on they continue to rule the country, and life just goes on as normal.
Pamwe katorika program ini ndakanzi ndaidanana nemasoja inini time yangu na Constantino. Yes, ndakanzi ndaidanana nemasoja, ndaihura nemasoja. Ndakazvinzwawo kuti ndakanzi ndaidanana nemasoja, but masoja acho ndakapiwa naConstantine, and in the end ndonzi ndovana tiri kudanana navo. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I think Rango Simba Constantino wanted to find a concrete decision. Yekuti ati, this marriage is over for good. Saka aifana kutsvaga chidhina nesimende zvinonyatsonama, so that it doesn't come back to him. Otaura kuti aiwa, because Mary aihura, ndosaka takarambana. No, kana paine munhu aitohura pakati pangu naConstantino, ndiye Constantino, because munhu waaihura naye during our marriage ndiye ava mukadzi wake iko zvino.
What yeah, I'm sorry that we've stretched, but I'm glad that I've managed to get to you after 3 years of struggling. Yeah, but now that you're talking to me, I'm hoping that you'll be comfortable with speaking with me soon. Maybe we can continue the conversation.
I'll be ready anytime. Ukazonzwa musi ndinonzi I'm not ready to talk to you uzokuti ndinenge ndafa.
That shouldn't happen soon, anytime soon. I should die first before you do. That's just me saying it.
Yeah, tinongotarisira kuna Mwari kuti vatichengetedze, because I mean in this day and age you never know. You just never know.
What words would you like to speak to Christopher Mutsvangwa? As he mentioned your name, what would you like to say to him? He's the ZANU-PF spokesman, but he used your name, he used your plight. You allege that he never spoke to you.
He never did. What I would say to Christopher Mutsvangwa is that, Mr. Mutsvangwa, I have not spoken to you in a very long time. I last spoke to you when I was still with Chiwenga, I think in the early hours of our marriage with Constantino. After that, I haven't spoken to you. I haven't even seen you. I haven't even heard of you, but yeah, maybe people watch you on the news and everything, but I don't follow the news because the truth is what they say it is, or the truth is what they want it to be. So I stopped watching the news. So no, Chris Mutsvangwa, I have not spoken to him at all. At all. If you can bring him, or if you can do a telecon, I will say the same thing, that I haven't spoken to Chris Mutsvangwa in like forever. I have not. I have not spoken to him at all.
Wow. Harry, thank you very much. I need to let you to rest. I know it's early morning. But, glad at least I've managed to reach you today, and look forward later on that we can speak more. And if you need these documents, I'm gonna send you these documents, and so you just see for yourself. I've been researching, as you can see. I spent over 14 years with and interviewing members of the Rhodesia Special Branch before many of them had died. And the most important one, who trained Mnangagwa, was also accused by the late President Robert Mugabe of being behind Gukrahundi, Dunstan, and I've been communicating with him, and I've got these. It's very clear to me that there has been an operation to stop ZANU-PF leaders since 1974, 1975, and so I've been following these events, and I'm hoping that one of these days you and other people will get to the bottom of what the truth is, and that is what I do, what we do at Zimai.
Yeah. Okay. No, thank you very much. I appreciate your call. And you know what? During the time when Mnangagwa was poisoned, I assisted him I assisted him. I even got my friends in South Africa to come and pick him up to go to the hospital in South Africa. They flew their private jets, which came to Zimbabwe, picked up Mnangagwa and myself, and we went to South Africa to get a medical treatment. But he can't do the same for me. But there's a Shona term that I wanted to say, but but one day it will come to my head and I will say it again, because I know this is not your last interview with me. There'll be many others, and I'm sure I will have other things to say. And you also have more questions to ask. Wow. And I'll be more than happy to answer you. More than happy to answer you. But I am still hurt by the fact that I have not seen or spoken to my children in 6 years. Chiwenga accused me of being a drug addict. If I was a drug addict, and so was he. And so was he. We were both put on pethidine by the doctors, but we carried on with pethidine. It's a painkiller and it makes you sleep. So Chiwenga and I both used it when we were husband and wife. He is the one that introduced me to it, because I didn't know it and I didn't know the doctors, but he did. So this Chakuti Auntie Mubaiwa, because she's a drug addict, that's bullshit. That's rubbish. He himself uses pethidine. And I am convinced kuti achiri kuishandisa. Saka ngaasada kuedza kuda kuzviita munhu akangwara. I also know the many things that he did the time that we were together. Saka ngaasade kuzviedza munhu akangwara. Kana kuda kuzviita graduate. Ngaasadaro. Ngandipe vana vangu. We must have shared custody. Kwete kuti ndinochengeterwa vana vangu ne hure raainaro raaidanana naro ini naye tichiri mumarriage yedu. Vese vaiita chihure. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. And I'm glad I got to say this to you, Simba, because I have bitterness in my heart, but at least I am grateful for this conversation, for this call that you made to me, because ndagona kutaura kuti Constantino uya noti mukadzi uya aihura. No, Constantino ndiye hure, not me. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much.
Geza, 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 zimai. Geza, 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 zimai. kumagumowe kutamu tambudwa na Emerson Monde yemanyachi tazuit kumagumowe kutamu tambudwa na Emerson Monde yemanyachi ndichasimudza maoko wangu kutenda musiki, ndichasimudza maoko wangu kutenda musiki. Geza, geza, geza zimai, geza, geza, geza zimai. Tasvitswa kumagumo hekutambutswa na Emerson Monde yemanyati. Tasvitswa kumagumo hekutambutswa na Emerson Monde yemanyati. Ndichasimudza maoko wangu kutenda musiki, ndichasimudza maoko wangu kutenda musiki. Geza, geza, geza zimai, geza, geza, geza zimai.
Rhodesia Special Branch method of liquidating political opponents is highly effective. And beyond Constantino Chiwenga, there are several others who have been targeted. And some of those that I have personally investigated, and many times I've even been called upon to testify at their court cases, include Honorable Job Sikala, who was an MP for Zengeza West, and his cousin by the name William Chinyanga. Now, these two highly valuable political activists in the community who have been speaking out loud for millions of people, they ended up getting confused, they themselves, to the point of individually believing that they were Nelson Mandela, individually, respectively. One while he's going into court, another one while he's coming out of court, believing and announcing that he is an incarnate of Nelson Mandela. And they are operators from the regime, collaborators who include journalists, some of them who I have met and confronted over these matters, and were in the activity of not just character assassination, but character distortion through information overload, perhaps similar to the same that was done on Constantino Chiwenga, so to compromise his leadership capabilities. My work over the last 1.5 decades has been to investigate these stories thoroughly, and sometimes confront police and even judges. In the United Kingdom, I even did it. And because of the enormity of the evidence that I have, even where I overstepped the boundaries of British law, I could not be arrested because of the physical evidence I have about this operation to not only character distort, but character assassinate important political players in Zimbabwean society, the agenda being Emerson Mnangagwa's 1975 operation. Right now, this online journalist and self-confessing Murakashi is being accused by Job Sikala's cousin of trying to pull him down, destroy his career. Well, this is a man who has been working as a sympathizer for Vice President Constantino Chiwenga since 2018, and he is confessing that he has been doing this at the same time as a sympathizer for Job Sikala and his family. However, while he is sympathizing with the vice president, he is also corrupting the vice president, offering advice to hunt down activists from the civil society who have been tortured with an agenda to avoid detention. This is at the time also that he is advising and supporting Job Sikala and his family. At the same time, he is falsely accusing Job Sikala's cousin, William Chinyanga, building a community of opinions against job seeker's cousin so that he appears as if he has committed a crime of terrorism. I was there physically when this happened, when this man said what he said. I was also there when he was on trial with his solicitors, with the prosecutors. I even confronted the judges who were handling his case. I did it inside court, and I did what ordinary British journalists would get arrested for and could not get arrested because of the enormity of the evidence that I had. And that is itself testament that this job seeker cousin is perfectly innocent, just like any other citizen, but he's right now rotting in jail because his character has not only been distorted, it has been assassinated. He is now being viewed as a terrorist, the same way that Constantino Chiwenga is now being portrayed as a man who decapitated his wife, a terrorist. And Constantino Chiwenga was unfortunate that in the days before his wife fell to fate, he met this single Mnangagwa journalist, and who is exposed in another big documentary over Gatwick Airport hacking and Heathrow Airport security breaching, that is called Jennifer Manyure Airport, Gatwick Airport hacking, and people can find it online. This man, who should be the president of Zimbabwe at any time from today, the anniversary of the bombing, the killing of Herbert Chitepo, his career hangs in the balance simply because of these Mnangagwa operators who have been working on the vice president's mind for a while. The same way that he has been working on Job Sikala's family for a while, with an agenda to crush all of them, their careers. One man working for Emerson Mnangagwa. To what end? To character distort and character assassinate. This is the operation of the Rhodesia Special Branch script. It uses men and women who are from a dark character background of laundering, just like this particular character, who only later on in 2025 is exposed as he confesses himself that he has been a Murakashi for Mnangagwa. Watch the documentary over the airport hacking, the Gatwick airport hacking, and the breaching of Heathrow airport security for more. This is me, Simba Shikanza, reporting to you what I've investigated from my background, not as an ordinary journalist, but from me, my background as the same young 23-year-old who back then set up risk accounting and auditing systems for at least 3 insurance companies, Botswana, Zimnat, and Lion of Uganda. My passion is to help protect community from risk of what could easily happen in the future that could cost society a lot of money and losses.